All right, so welcome back to the dressing room where we try on new perspectives, one conversation at a time. And my name is Jasmine, and my co host is.
Matasha.
And today we have brought you a new episode, and this one is touchy because nobody really likes apologizing at first. So today we're going to dive deep into the art of apologizing and where that fear comes from, or that pride comes into place when we don't want to apologize or we feel uncomfortable apologizing. So I want to start off by saying what's not an apology. I'm sure some people have apologized to you that you didn't feel like was of your standard, or it wasn't really um received as a official apology. What are some of those ways people have apologized to you that wasn't genuine?
Well, I think everybody experiences that as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say you're sorry, and then your brother or sister, like, I'm sorry. You know, it wasn't. They just said it because they didn't want to get their ass with.
That makes sense.
Because they knew that's what was coming. You don't want to say sorry, I'll get your ass in the house. You know.
So do you think, like even as a child, the parents don't teach you to say it the right way?
Yes, exactly.
And you get away with just saying it whatever type of way. I never even thought of that part of it.
Or they may say, no, don't say it like that. You know, some parents may. I think I've heard some parents correct, be like, that ain't no apology. You got a whole attitude. But that just leads to, can you really genuinely apologize if you're still in your feelings about the situation? Because you know how we talk about stepping away, calming down, rationalize what happened before you come back to the conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe you might need to do that in order to apologize correctly.
I know, I get what you're saying. I agree. I think sometimes you do need to calm down first. Because in that moment, your emotions are still at an all-time high. So it's like, all right, I'm sorry. And you can't really
get your deliver it based on the way you
where you at the moment. Yeah. Or you're basically telling somebody to be a light switch. I need you to cut off whatever emotion you're feeling, and you gotta apologize. So I do think that it is something that
maybe. And if you had years of that, once you get older, you like, that's uncomfortable. I just don't want to apologize no more. All my life I was made to apologize when I didn't want to, so now I'm just not doing it. I'm uncomfortable with it. I was uncomfortable then. Maybe. It's a possibility.
Maybe. I'm thinking of it as, hey, I need you to go calm down, but when you do calm down, I need you to come back and apologize for what you did. I do think that you can give people that space to calm down, because sometimes you do need to digress a little bit, get yourself together, because in that moment you're full of emotions. You say things that you don't mean, you do things that you didn't mean to do, and then we have that, oh, I only said that because I was mad.
Right.
I only did that because I was mad. Then people get to use that as an excuse to get away with the things that they're doing when they're mad. And it's like, well, from now on, when you get mad and you get upset, you need to learn how to have more emotional stability. You need to be able to step off, get yourself together, and then come back.
Right.
But I've heard, all right, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just real vague and, okay, you want me to apologize? I apologize.
Right. I like the first one on here. I love this one. I'm sorry you felt that way.
I'm sorry you felt that way is not an apology. Saying that really,
it makes the other person wrong. Really, like wrong for feeling
exactly. And I think the thing is, I feel like we have to get into a space where we understand that your feelings does not make me a bad person.
Right.
Your feelings are your feelings. And the thing about feelings are, you don't get to pick and choose which one you get to feel at that moment.
Right.
It just arises and you like, damn, why do I feel this way? Like in a situation where my mom comes across a man, and even though I don't want her to get a man, I do want her to get a man. You know what I mean? But at some moment I might be like, I don't know. I don't know, I feel away. And maybe I shouldn't be feeling away because, girl, why you mad? She finally, but that's just how I feel. And I feel like I should tell you that. And sometimes you feel away because it's just something new that you got to get acquainted with. You got to adapt to. And you feel away based off of your traumas and the things you watched your mother go through in the past. And now you're afraid that things may happen again. But your feelings are always valid. And the opposite person needs to know that your feelings does not define who I am. It just defines what you feeling at this moment. And it doesn't make you right or wrong. It doesn't make me right or wrong. That's just what you feeling. That's me saying, hey, I feel uncomfortable, but I don't know why. Can you help me dissect it?
Right.
Like, I don't know what's making me feel this way or why I feel this way, but I just feel uncomfortable.
Right.
And the other person can sometimes help you, navigate that. I do that a lot in my relationship. So I think it does, stem deep sometimes where you just got to be like, well, why do you feel that way? Where did that come from? What are you feeling? Right. But I think that people shouldn't take other people's feelings as an attack.
Right. Or minimize somebody else's feelings.
Yes.
You start minimizing and, you mad about that little like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even that deep.
Yeah, and then I've heard that a lot. It's not even that deep. And then you'll say, to who? You got when you, and that's another thing about relationships. Once you're in a relationship, it's not about you. When you say it's not that deep, it may not be that deep to you, but it's deep to me. So now what do we do with this in the middle? Because it was deep to me. I feel away. I'm on the verge of tears. I'm just acting like I'm hard.
Right.
But it was deep to me.
Right.
So you can't say things like that. But I do feel like in relationships, you learn that you continuously are teaching your partner that you can't say that.
Yeah.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
I would rather you not say that because it makes me uncomfortable.
Exactly.
It makes me feel this way, or it's a trigger for me. And you learn how to communicate. You learn each other's triggers, and you refrain from doing certain
And then
things.
even with that, like, I wouldn't even say that, in my experiences, that is a trigger. I would say that this goes for anybody you run into. I wouldn't want you to tell somebody it ain't that deep. I wouldn't want you to say it to your daughter. I wouldn't want you to say it to your son. I wouldn't want you to say that to anybody because you're, like you said, you're invalidating how they feel by saying it's not that deep.
Yeah, definitely.
If they're coming to you with a situation, then it is that deep.
It's deep enough for them to feel something behind it and bring it to your attention.
Yeah.
It's deep enough.
And then the apology that's like, all right, I'm sorry. Move on. Like I said it, what else you want me to... I said it already. What you want me to do?
And the thing is, what people don't know, you can feel the energy behind that.
Yeah, behind the raggedy ass sorry that
you be like, what? I mean, Shawty, I ain't gonna say it, but I mean, I said it. And I'm saying Shawty, and you know why I'm saying it? Because I've been told that by a person so many times.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but what
else you want me to do? I do feel like a lot of people struggle with apologizing due to their pride and their ego. And I think that they feel like if I apologize about this, then I'm going to be made out to be a weak person. Yeah, some people do. I'm sure that's a majority of people feel weak behind it. Like, because you're owning, and you have to enter a vulnerable state in order to apologize.
And most people equate vulnerability to weakness.
And there's so many different ways to say, like, I apologize. And I've learned it. I wasn't always good at apologizing, by the way. I've learned how to say it in different situations because you'll find yourself apologizing a lot in relationships for things that you wasn't even intending to do. It was never your intentions. And then even not too long ago, I heard my partner say, I apologize that you had to experience that.
Right.
Or you experienced me that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many different ways that you can just apologize because you know that something occurred and it made your partner feel away. And now it's like, well, I'm sorry you had to go through. How something happened and it don't really got nothing to do with me. But it's like, I'm really sorry that you had to go through that. or that you're going through that.
Or even as a parent, if we think about it, we may not intentionally wanted to hurt our children or, to do certain things, whether it was things we said or didn't say, things we did or didn't do, but they experienced us a certain way. And all we have to have the emotional awareness to say, I'm sorry you experienced me that way. Because, if I have a child at 18, that child is going to experience the 18-year-old mother.
Yeah.
Versus the child that was born when I was 25 is now going to experience probably
a different version.
A different version. And then the first child is going to say, well, why does that child get a different version? Because I'm a different person. Most people don't recognize that.
Right.
And kids especially, they're not going to be aware of that, but just apologize. It's okay to apologize to your children for experiencing you during the time you just didn't have the tools to do anything better.
Yeah.
But when you feel like you're apologizing for doing your best, and you're not. You're just apologizing for their experience.
I agree. How do you feel about apologizing?
I'm better at it. I'm not. I just do it now. I still. There are some moments where I still get this feeling in my gut, like. And that's where I have to process it. And then I say, I apologize if you felt something. No, I apologize for making you feel that way. That wasn't my intention. And then I think about it. And then I'll even ask, like, because sometimes you don't know what a person needs, because some people need different things, or may need well, I don't really need that. I just need you to, do this to change. They want to just see a change in you, because that's another thing. We apologize, but then we repeat the behavior.
Yeah, so it really didn't mean nothing.
How many apologies can you take? From the same person. Think that's another thing. You got an apology bank. How many are you willing to receive before it's like? Is there a number of where you just say, I cut off at 5? Like,
I don't think it's a number, personally.
What if it's the same exact thing?
I think it depends on what that thing is. Because some things that you can't take from the beginning and you just excuse it because of the apology.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's like by the second time you at your wit's ends.
Yeah.
I'm not about to sit here and just accept another apology from this, because I didn't like it the first time. It was extreme 10 the first time. And then comparing it to you having poor communication. My bad, I meant to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was supposed to let you know. You might get more apologies in that realm versus something that I absolutely can't tolerate at all.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you hitting me. I'm sorry, I was upset, I was mad. Not me, one time I'm gone. But everybody has different things that they can deal with.
Yes.
You see different women in different relationships. Some can deal better with abuse than cheating. Some can deal better with a cheating man than you putting your hands on me.
Right.
So it all depends on what you're willing to tolerate and what your bank says. Because for certain things, you only got one.
And your bank, I will say this, the deposit, room for depositing sorries, I'm going to say for me, at my age now, is very small.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hit. I think when you get to a point where you understand humans and what they are capable of, and they know better, and you know better right now, you want to see is sorry going be okay. If I'm going to allow you to get away with what you did by just saying sorry.
Right. There are some situations.
You're testing me.
There are some situations that could be a thing, and there's some situations where just because your number is at 52 does not mean that you should know better. And maybe you do know better, but because you're a human being, you're still going to make mistakes.
Yeah, you're going to make mistakes, but there's a difference in repeating the same behavior and making a mistake.
But everybody sees
the
that
first
differently.
time you did it, If you once you did it the first time and it was wrong and you had to apologize, you knew how much that hurt me, and you willingly did it again. It's not a mistake the second
What's
time.
your definition for willingly?
If you cheat, you go out here and cheat, and then I find out, and you're like, baby, I'm sorry. I know I was wrong. Look, can we work this thing out? And I find it in my heart to say, okay.
Right.
We're going to move past that. It was an indiscretion. It is what it is. And then 3 weeks later, somebody else, baby, I know I made another mistake. It's not a mistake. This is a pattern. This is a behavior.
Mm.
You can't apologize for you're now apologizing for who you are. This is who you are. In this moment, at this time, that's who you are. Maybe. You are only apologizing to save your ass. You're not apologizing for what you did because you wouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. You're apologizing to keep this going right here. To keep me in the space you want me to be in so you can be comfortable. Because some people do apologize for their own comfort because they don't want to lose what they have. But they're also not willing to do the work to not have to apologize again. Because I feel like with apologies, if there's no changed behavior, the apology means nothing.
Makes sense.
There has to be, that's like a child. When we look at our children, they do something, they get reprimanded. You're not expecting them to continuously keep doing that same thing.
Right.
But what if they said, I made another mistake? I made another. Oh, dang! I did that again. My bad. Yeah, I don't really like my teacher, but okay. The things that we won't tolerate for our children. Why would we keep accepting that same apology from an adult?
I think that I think this. And I think that it plays heavy on my mind because I heard a long time ago that not that you should or that you have to, but you think about how many chances God gave you when you didn't always show up the way you were supposed to. Mm-hmm. And you might have said, I'm never going to do that again. And then you did. Mm-hmm. And then I'm never going to do that again. Then you did. I think that I look at people that way. There are some that I look at and I decide to say, you know what? I'm going to take that and I'm going to look at it as the fact that you're a human being. And if I replace you, I'm just going to get another human being that's going to continue to make mistakes because that's what they do. And I look at it too, like, have I made mistakes? Have I repeated behaviors that I said that I was sorry for? Have I went out and drank even after I said, oh, you know what, I'm going to stop drinking. I know I came in beyond my own. I don't want to sit here and reprimand you and put it to your nose and say you better not if I know I've also done things that wasn't on the straight and narrow. So I don't feel comfortable sitting here and holding you to a certain standard of being a robot that I don't hold myself to because just because I said I want to stop, I don't want to go out and get that. I may have a day. Does that mean I don't like you? I don't like my relationship? I hate who you are? I hate what's going on? No. That means I just had way too much fun. I'm not comparing it to cheating, but who's to say one sin is better than the other? I might go out with my mother and my sister, and then I might have had one too many drinks, and now here I am doing the same thing I did a month ago. And I guess because I told you I was sorry and I wouldn't do it again, now you should leave me. Because you won't accept one sorry, which means you expected me to be perfect or you expected me not to do what I said I was going to do ever again. Which means there's no real wiggle room here.
It's wiggle room for whatever your tolerance level, like you said a few minutes ago. If somebody punch you in your eye, you're out of there. That's no.
But it was never no. Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm just saying you're not gonna stay there.
Yeah, there's no room.
That's what I'm saying. So for somebody else, I feel like this: if you cheat and I forgive you, you apologize, and then 3 weeks later you do it again.
So I feel like my thing is if you hit me, I'm out. I'm not accepting an apology. I felt like it was wrong. If you accepted the first time, that means it wasn't that bad.
Right.
Which means I'm willing to kind of work it out. I'm not saying that you stay. I feel like it's a personal decision on whether you stay and stay and stay. But to accept it the first time, it's not that horrible of a thing to you. Because let's say the way you think about it, right? When it comes to marriage and money, if he say I'm sorry and then sent you on a cruise and paid for your trip out in Dubai, would it erase the fact that he did what he did?
No.
No. You gonna leave him?
What do you mean?
How you gonna leave the man that cheated? Would you leave a man that cheat on you?
And how I feel right now?
Yeah.
No.
So I thought maybe we were speaking from personal experience.
Well,
me personally,
at this point,
I'm not focused on.
I'm not focused on that part of
thing.
in my relationship.
So I guess it all depends on what your thing is that overrules everything else. I look at it as if you accept it once, then it's really not that big of a deal to you.
Yeah.
It's one thing when somebody do something and you leave immediately. That means, oh no, I gotta get away. Just like you would leave a friend the minute they do something, I gotta get out of this. I can't tolerate this. If you punch me in my face, I'm gone.
But even in friendships, some friends fight and then they actually become better friends after they fight.
Never experienced.
So, but if you'd have left on the first fight,
girl,
you don't know how great the relationship could have been.
Well, throw your shit up. Let's see what happened.
You just never. I've heard something.
But I'm talking about
after we fought.
But at least it's two women. Yeah, at least it's two women. I'm talking about a man punching you in the nose. I'm not fighting no man.
I've seen
me and my girls. I done fought my sister.
They done,
and they do their thing, and it's not that big of a deal to just get a little. Some people like a little domestic violence. They want to know how much you really do like me. You gonna come grab me by the head, drag me out the club? Some people like that. It gets them going. I don't. Don't put your hands on me.
Right.
I'm immediately leaving. So I think it all depends on your tolerance of what you're willing to deal with. Personally.
How many sorries you're willing to take.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Are you willing to take a sorry, or apology? Yeah.
I do feel like it comes with changed behavior though. And it may not change overnight. Some of them do change overnight. But I do think when you've been doing something for so long, let's say take you for instance, you get a man, they say you need to stop sending your kids money they're using you. Are you gonna be able to just abruptly stop? You ain't stopped yet.
It depends on the man and what comes along with him.
And it may be if you feel like even though what he's saying is true regardless, it all depends on what he got to offer. What he's saying is true. Why does it matter what he has to offer if he got your best interest at heart? Are you going to immediately stop doing what you know is already to be wrong? You've been doing it all your life at 50. It may not be that easy for you.
Because there's some things your partner may say, hey, yeah, and you
they
may change immediately.
But I've seen you in relationships when it comes to your kids. You ain't changing immediately. You might take you some time.
Know.
I don't know. And when that time comes.
Because I ain't been in one in so long, and I've done a lot of healing.
You have. I don't know about that area right there, though.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Just,
I'll continue to watch.
He gonna think I ain't got no kids.
Damn. That's how you gonna show. That's
why I'm going.
I don't mind apologizing these days. I really don't. I really do feel like I prefer to know where I went wrong, how I can make it better, and how we can move on from this state. Apologizing for me is a lot easier than it was for me back when I was younger because it was just given. I'm not about to. I ain't did nothing. And that's when you're in a resistant state of feeling like I don't do no wrong, I'm not wrong, then that's when I feel like you block your blessings and you miss out on learning experiences because somebody can be showing you how you're showing up and you just rejecting it time after time after time by feeling like you can't do no wrong. When now I look for my wrong in each story, each experience, I'm looking for where could I have done something? Could I have, I'll phone a friend quick. Hey mom, what you think about it? Let me tell you what happened and be honest with me. Did I do something wrong or what could I have done differently, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking for my wrong in a situation so that I can apologize and maybe, just maybe you'll accept it and we can move on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not looking for my wrong because I'm just not wrong.
That's your problem now.
Problem. I don't really like the word problem.
I don't care what you have.
Well, like I said, I don't have a problem apologizing.
You still
I
working
just have
through
to
it.
process it, and then I'll do it. Whether, especially when I know, I want to say when I know it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
When it's necessary, because some people play with you. You're not about to play in my face, bro.
They say apology without change behavior is manipulation.
It is, because people will apologize. People will shed tears and make you think they really, really mean what
Yes.
they say, and turn right around
and man,
do the same thing and continuously. And the thing about it, they get used to you forgiving them. That's why I say there has to be a line. You have to have some boundaries, even with apologies. Yes, and you know what? I understand. My God, and I understand how He thinks about us, but I know He also understands boundaries and us having some.
I agree.
Us having enough boundaries to protect ourselves. We have to protect ourselves, protect our energy.
You know, and when I say like giving people chances, definitely it gotta make sense. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say for me and your relationship, to me it makes sense. I don't feel unsafe here. I feel like I can give you another chance. If you do something, you be like, my bad, I'm sorry, I should have did it. Okay, cool. We can move on from that. Like, right. It's not a big deal. There's certain relationships that you feel like, hey, I'm gonna give them as many chances as they can because that relationship is already what it is. You know what I mean?
It's already what it is, and you've seen change behavior in the person. Mm-hmm. You know the person well enough to know that I know that probably wasn't intentional.
Exactly. Okay, well that might be the main part of it. Mm-hmm. When you know a person's actions wasn't intentional and they're not even the type of person that wants to hurt you intentionally, it's a little easy to forgive them for certain things like poor communication or they forgot to, put their shoes in the closet or, I'm talking about some of the basic things. Why you ain't tell me to get off of work early because you took. Man, I mean, I don't know. You know that it was like
you said you know be here at 1. It's 5.
And then when you do stuff and you say things and you don't always show up and here you are apologizing for the 5th time for being late.
Right.
You can't really sit here and make this person be perfect when you know you're going to be apologizing for being late next week.
Right. Yeah. That's
so true. I think of it when it is that situation.
The intention behind.
Exactly. Yeah. When you know a person intentions was pure and it's like they didn't really mean to. Yeah. I'm not about to say this. You're on your 5th one. You got one more left.
That's and your sometimes an apology you need to make it to yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to apologize for yourself for even being in certain situations for a certain amount of time. Just being in the situation, period, or just staying in it. Because like you were saying earlier, if you accepted the apology, it wasn't that bad.
Exactly.
So if he or she is on their 5th apology for the same thing, you're the problem.
You're the problem. Absolutely.
You're the problem. So you
stayed after the 3rd and 4th. Like, if it was severe,
he got to 5. She got to 5. You let her do that 5 times.
How did we get to 5?
That's when you're the problem. You know you're the problem.
Obviously, are lacking something, and you need to work on that.
Yeah, they notice a weakness in you, and they play on it.
Has there ever been a time where you knew you was wrong about something? And you was able to skate through it and not apologize, so you just kind of left it right there. Like you knew you was wrong when you went back and sat with yourself.
I'm sure I've had moments like this, especially in my 20s. Yeah, I'm sure I have, and I mean, if I was clever enough to
swindle my way about
it, and I said, well,
so you've also experienced, and I'm still going to, baby girl, but you have experienced yourself, like, especially like in the argument with the man, because we feel like we're so much more intelligent than them, which we are, as quiet as kept. But where they'll line you up and realize like, oh shoot, I am wrong. But now you gotta go you gotta take it out the park so you can flip this and make them wrong.
And that's the one out of their playbook.
Yeah.
You catch them out.
Really?
You know what?
Well, my grandmother just died.
They just say something wild and get
really
loud.
Okay. You know what? Because I ain't even tell you what happened Monday. You know what? I don't even want to talk about it. Ain't shit happened Monday. The things people would do to get out of an apology is insane.
It is.
You gonna bring up a fake argument so you don't gotta apologize? Why go to such extremes just to get out of it?
To just apologize.
It ain't that simple for most people.
It really not. It's not.
It's like, yeah, no, I'm a duck and dodge that apology as long as I can, because when you're in a state where you feel like I don't do no wrong, and the people around you, when the people around you have convinced you and have led you to believe that you're not the problem, because a lot of people are just, girl, you're fine, you ain't do nothing, they should have never did with that. When you don't have the right people around you to really check you and tell you, like,
yeah,
now, mom, you know you shouldn't have. If your girlfriend's like, girl, fuck him, you ain't did. You in a world of trouble.
Yeah, you. First of all, you in a circle of trouble.
You in
because
a man.
those friends ain't gonna help you grow. Ain't gonna help you heal because they know your behavior, what you did was wrong, and they not gonna call you out because they just as messed up as you. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten to a point where, even in a recent situation that I've had in my relationship, where I acted a certain way, and then I realized that, dang, I gotta apologize. And even to this day, it's like I'm okay with doing it, but it's when you felt like when you felt, and then it's almost like you apologize for a lot of things at one time. You like, you do feel like, am I a bad person? Like, am I horrible? And when I finally was able to say, I apologize, and then he was just like, I accept it. It makes you feel worse because it's like, why did I treat you that way? I felt worse after I apologized because it's like, I literally did all these things. You repeated them back to me. Imagine somebody repeating everything you did. And you like, it's like repeat all your charges back. First degree attempt. Then you just
1, 2, and 3. Like,
wait,
is that many?
That's the same charge.
That sounds like the same thing to me.
But repeated everything that I did and how I showed up, and it was just like, damn. And you do gotta take inventory and say, I need to figure something out because that was wrong.
Yeah.
That wasn't okay. Now I feel bad. Now I'm in tears apologizing to you because it's like, you never deserved that.
Right.
You never deserved for me to treat you that way. And even though my feelings were valid, I approached you wrong. You find yourself in situations where you're so angry and upset, and you know you have a valid reason for being upset, but now your approach is off. So now you gotta apologize for your approach. Everything else don't even matter. You already wrong because you should have said, "Hey, can we step outside and talk? I need to talk to you about something." Right. Versus you meet me outside right now. We need to talk right now. Come on. Two different things. Now everything you say after that may be valid, but because of how you approach the situation, you're already discredited.
Yeah, definitely.
But then even when you approach the situation and then you loud, you at a 10, you've been drinking and all of this is just like, excuse me. You say things that you don't mean, and then now you like, how did I get here? And then because you don't want to be in that position to have to apologize again, you be like, yeah, I'm going to have to stray away from whatever got me to that point. Whether it was the place I was in, whether it was the drinks I had, whatever it was, I don't want to go there again because I could have been single as a dollar bill.
Yeah. I've even been in a position where I did something and then the person was hurt behind it, but because of how I felt about that person and the things that they had done to me prior, I just couldn't bring myself to apologize. And I felt great about what I did.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
You felt like it was a get back.
I felt like
you finally feel the way I felt for years.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. So I don't know. Like yeah, definitely in that moment, I never. All I could. I mean, I didn't even. Normally, for me, I don't like to hurt people, but in that moment, I felt. I mean, I was actually smiling.
You actually,
It
because
kind
you
of
felt
like
like
scared me a little bit. Like,
you scare me all the time.
It scared me because I'm like, you really okay with, and you don't, and I didn't even have no sense of.
Yeah.
I just okay. So now what? Because
I
okay,
think you
I
may
did
have
it. I don't
been
care.
mimicking the behavior that was given to you.
It really was. I really was, and that's another thing about staying with a person too long, because them energies start to blend and you start to take on who
You like, I'm
they
gonna do you
are.
like you did me.
And I definitely became him.
And then you find yourself stooping to their level, becoming them. Now
yeah.
I'm gonna just do tit for tat. However you show up, I'm gonna show up. But instead of me leaving, I'd rather just meet you where you at. Let me just meet the monster where they at. I could change. I could be just like you. Versus, I'm not willing to change who I am.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and exit stage left. But sometimes we do feel like, let me show you you, so you can see how this is. And I'm not saying that don't work sometimes. I used to. Mom, no, you can't do tit for tat. You can't do that. But what I have learned, now I'm still not condoning tit for tat. Let's just make that clear. But what I have learned is, a lot of times you don't really realize how you made a person feel behind your actions until you feel it and it's done to you. And that is a fact. That is an experimental fact. Because you can do something to somebody over and over and over, and then the minute it's done to you, you like, that's how that feels. Yeah.
And you know, differently. I actually, in the same relationship, had another situation where I went out and done some things similar to what he did. And I came home and apologized. Oh, I'm so sorry. I went out. Me and my friends, man, we partied. We went back to her house. I fell asleep. I'm just getting in. It's 10 o'clock the next day. I'm sorry. I ain't even get your calls. My phone was dead.
The whole nine.
And he's living. Nah, I don't believe that. So you just fell asleep. Yeah, I did. I mean, I apologize for coming home, the next morning. But yeah, I mean, ain't it possible?
You've been doing it for a minute now.
You fall asleep all the time. But my sorry ain't no good. And I know why my sorry ain't no good. Because you ain't no good. Your sorries didn't mean shit either.
Right.
But you sitting here in tears right now lets me know that you really needed to feel this.
Yeah.
In order to understand what you have been putting me through all these years. And I didn't have to.
Right.
I chose to turn into a person just to prove a point to you.
A lot of us do that.
Become something that I would have never been. Like, I allowed this relationship, I allowed this energy to shift who I am as a person.
Right.
Just to prove a point to you.
We all do it. At the club, we all fail. I just really feel like you be surprised that when it comes to apologizing and just saying I'm sorry. And then you ever heard people saying that you shouldn't say I'm sorry because it's like an affirmation?
Yes.
You should say I apologize.
Yes.
I try to get my kids to always say I apologize. There's some people that overuse the I'm sorry, especially like foreigners. Kills me. Because I be thinking, if you said it 10 times to me, how often are you saying this?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Who's sorry? You sorry ass mother.
You know what does sorry... Yeah, I wonder what the dictionary...
I'm going to look it up.
I have to look it up.
But they say, like, continuously saying I'm sorry as a negative, like, affirmation versus saying I apologize for what I did. I honestly feel like it's easier to say I apologize for what I did. It actually
feels better.
It feels better. You sorry.
Yeah.
Because I've actually had people say I'm sorry, and I said, and that you are. Shit. So you better not say that to me. And of course
And
you are.
you know what?
Clearly.
You know why people say it so much? Because they're taught to say it
Exactly.
as a child. Because their parents don't know no better.
Say I'm sorry.
Their parents didn't know to say I apologize.
I apologize. I mean, I didn't learn it until I was
older.
older.
When we was little, to say when you like you a lie, you but say you fibbed. You said a fib.
Yeah, you telling a tale.
I'm telling a tale. You lied.
You lie. You are a liar. But you know, I do feel like if you want a different option, I apologize for what I did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Just sounds a little.
And it been programmed.
Yeah.
So it is like it's clearly an effort. It's something that you say enough times, it just becomes second nature.
Yeah.
And it becomes a part of you. It really does. It embedded into your
vocabulary.
Yeah. And what's that system? What's the system that the motherboard and the computers? You know what I'm trying to say. You know, it's like the program, and now you got to do a whole hard reset. Because your parents didn't know no better. They done programmed and typed some stuff in there, had their glasses on, and don't know what they was doing. You know, just fumbling around trying to be a parent without the proper tools. You know, but.
Do you apologize to be forgiven or to be understood?
I don't care if you understand, but so, no. Probably a little bit of both, because you want to be I want you to forgive me for hurting you or for you experiencing me in that manner. And I also want you to the understanding part is a little tricky because it's almost like I want you to understand why I hurt you. Or I could just want you to understand in the process of me doing this, you got hurt, but that was not my intention.
That could be it.
So that is an understanding. So I do want you to understand it was never meant for me to hurt you in the process of doing this. Because I'll be honest with you, I do feel like in my relationship, in my marriage, I don't feel like not one time my husband cheated, he intended to hurt me.
Right.
I don't think he ever wanted to hurt me. He never had a reason to intentionally hurt me. Yeah. It was just his actions and him being him. I got hurt in the process of him just being who he was, who he always was, and I knew that. So my pain was really caused by myself. Yeah. Really. Well, how do you feel about that?
I think a little bit of both too.
Okay.
I definitely want to be forgiven. Because if I'm apologizing to you, I care. I care. I actually give a fuck.
Right.
So I would like to be forgiven. I would like to be given grace. But I would also like for you to understand my perspective of the situation as well. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's important for you to be able to, and I think maybe because it's important for me to be able to say, well, let me hear how you've seen this, or what happened on your end. Right. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I can understand how you got here. Right. So for me, I do feel like forgiveness and understanding. Whether it's I got to do better, whether I realize tonight that I got to show up differently, or I just want you to understand that I'm still dealing with X, Y, and Z, and this is why I'm here.
This is why I'm here.
Babes. So yeah, I would say a little bit of both as well.
Mm-hmm. And when we was having a conversation about this topic, we realized that apologizing is equal to accountability.
It is.
Like, you're taking accountability for your actions. Because if you don't apologize, that means you're in denial about your actions.
Yeah.
You don't want to even own the fact that you
did
something. And it don't make you a bad... Again, it don't make you a bad person. It just means you did something that affected someone in a, harmful way, and you just have to apologize. I didn't mean to harm you while I was out at the club and I fell asleep at my girlfriend's house. It wasn't my intention. My intention was to have a good time. I was outside.
I understand.
That's it.
That's it. That's all.
Please forgive me. Till next time.
Until next time. To the next episode.
To the next episode.
I think that in any relationship that the apology must come with some sincerity behind it.
Definitely.
Because when it don't, it just seems as if it's fake.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that that's one thing that I've learned in my relationships where it's like we struggled. We had a time period where it was like, that's not, no, you're not about to give me that. You got to do better. Say it with your chest. Say it with some soul. Say it like you like me. Like all of those things where like, say it like you got some vulnerability going on in your chest and you like, hey, I apologize.
Right.
Can I have a hug? I really do. I really am, sorry for what I did. I really am sorry for what I did. 'Cause why is you calling me?
Quiet on set.
So I do feel like the way you say your apology matters a lot. Try your best to go into it with that person's feelings in mind. And sometimes you do got to step away for a moment. Step away for a moment. Get yourself together. And then come back. At least until you get to a point where you're able to just say, I apologize for what I did. I was wrong. I'll try my best not to let that happen again. You don't want to make no promises because, like I said, you're not perfect. You're a human being. But you do want this person to feel you, not just hear you. So, did you have anything else to add?
The last thing I want to add, I just want to give you a few tips on the apologies that you should not accept.
Okay.
Number one, when they don't take any accountability for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have to accept that apology, okay?
We don't have to accept that one.
Number two, repeated behavior.
We don't have to accept that. It's your second time, brother man.
And the last one, apology used to reset access without growth.
Woo! You don't get to get back in if you ain't grown up.
Nope.
Let them know, Tasha. She don't play no game.
Access denied.
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 And on that note, we will see you all on the next episode.
Denied.
Access denied.